This month on Mustang Magazine, Freshmen get the new dean, the PTO is selling a new board game, and we see what some students were up to this past summer. These stories and more on this September edition of Mustang Magazine.
Hello, and welcome to Mustang Magazine. I'm Austin Reardon.
And I'm Mia Finizzi. Mustang Magazine is a show produced by students, like us, from the Advanced Broadcast Journalism class at Norwood High School.
Our goal is to cover the stories that matter in the surrounding community from a teen point of view. This episode is the first show of the new school year.
First up, we're taking you back to summer with an inside look at a day camp that introduces middle school kids to the magic of television. Here's senior staff reporter Ryan Crowley with our cover story.
It's Lights, Camera Summer for middle school campers in Norwood, and they're getting hands-on training in the fields of television production and filmmaking.
About techniques with the camera, how to use a camera, and using accessories like the boom mic.
I didn't do much editing, but acting, it was tougher than I thought.
The free summer camp is sponsored by the Norwood Public Access television station, and its teachers are current students and alumni from the advanced television program at the high school.
I teach them the building blocks of what we do, obviously, little editing things, how to set up a shot, and it's nice to keep that fresh in your mind.
While camps of the past were designed around small group projects, this summer the teaching staff took a new approach.
We definitely wanted to try something new and maybe have more of a group approach for all of the kids to get involved equally.
So the staff brainstormed ways to increase the participation as well as the overall quality of the productions.
So that brought us to the idea of recreating full-length movies. I think the kids like that better because our final product at the end is very strong, and they all really got to say they had a hand in doing so and creating that final production.
I enjoyed that everyone could come together and we could all speak our words and we could actually act, have a chance to it's cool.
The camp was broken down into 5 one-week sessions, and at the end of each week, campers were ready to show off their full-length films at a world premiere event in the GSU Theater.
From taking Lights, Camera, Summer and the Youth Video Club, makes me more comfortable and helps me understand it a lot more.
And while campers were proud of their work and say they learned a lot, the teachers say they benefited as well.
Lights, Camera, Summer is also helpful to me because, being out of high school, not really taking TV anymore. Even though I'm majored in communications, I'm still a little washed up. Me teaching these kids, it's kind of reteaching myself, making sure I don't forget some of the things and I stay on top of all the things that I used to be on top of.
The Lights, Camera, Summer camps will be back next year, but for now you can check out all of the great projects from this past summer on demand by visiting www.mpa.org. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Ryan Crowley.
Thanks, Ryan. I remember the Lights, Camera, Summer days because that's where I got my start. Some of the friends I bonded with then are my best friends now.
Staying with the topic of bonding, members of the varsity golf team spent some time together back in July. Junior staff reporter Joe Sporsha caught up with them and filed this report.
Over the summer, the NHS golf team got together looking to improve in the upcoming season.
All the players get to know each other better, spend some time together, be comfortable around each other, make a successful team in the fall.
I think it can only help. I think the bonding can only help. You get into a tough time and you just stick together and fight through it. So it's good stuff.
And the whole weekend wasn't just about golf.
That one's gone. Swam in the lake, played wiffle ball, golfed, poker, in between, and there's a bunch of fun activities.
And the boys had an interesting motto for the weekend.
GTB, FTB, it's golf team bonding for the boys. Mr. Jack Tolman came up with that for us, and that's just been our motto for the week. It's been driving us.
In just 3 days, everyone managed to create memories that will last a lifetime.
Oh, Spud, what a shot! I think the funniest moment was when we were all gathered behind the 18th green watching Charlie Hinoyan come in, and from about 50 yards away, his approach shot to the green came up a little bit short.
Charlie!
Oh, it was definitely watching you guys outside, showering and shampooing in the pouring down rain, lathering up. It was the best.
You know, some of us that were just here for the experience, which, I mean, we'll see how that works out.
Even though the main focus was on golf and trying to get us ready for the season, I'd say my favorite part of the weekend had to have been the wiffle ball game we had. There's a lot of controversy in it. I believe the game's being played under protest, but I think my team took a quick dub, so you know, it's just great bonding.
They're going to the lake? As the season is in full swing and the team is completely in sync, go watch the Mustangs play in their home course for 8 matches this season. Check the NHS Athletics website for dates and times. Reporting for Mustang Sports Blog,
Go!
I'm Joe Spadorcia.
Thanks, Joe. Good luck to the golf team this fall season.
As you can see, NHS students are busy all summer participating in a variety of activities.
And while the warmer weather got some people overheated, others found solace on the ice.
Nick Parkinson and Michael Curley reported from Pirelli's Veterans Arena in Franklin.
Teens looking to stay a bit cooler this summer are playing in a new hockey league in Franklin.
I really like it. It's really fun. It's something you can do with like all your friends and stuff.
I think so because we're playing each other. It makes us play harder.
The Hockey Guys Norwood House League, run for kids entering 4th grade to 9th grade, was started by juniors Joe Spadorcia and Chris Martin. They run it in a way that you wouldn't expect for a normal summer hockey league.
We have a 3-man rotation every week. So we have each guy will ref 2 games and then scorekeep 1 game.
And it isn't just the high schoolers that manage this league. Tony Spadorcia, Joe's dad, helps make sure that the operation is run smoothly.
Well, I want to make sure that there's coaches manning the benches. I want to make sure that there's enough players for each team. We have several players that play multiple games every week. They come in and the kids are begging to play another game if they're available to play, and I want to make sure that we have competitive games and they're balanced so we have at least 10 skaters on each side.
One complication with the league is creating a schedule, but they found out a way to fix this issue.
The season works out where it is 2 little kids games and then older kids game, and then each week it rotates, so then it becomes 2 older kids games and 1 little kid game, so like everyone gets a fair amount of playing time.
Another problem is making sure that each team has their own logos and jerseys. Joe took this responsibility into his own hands.
I designed the logos first, and then me and my dad got together and tried to compare them to NHL teams. So I designed the Hawks logo after the Capitals logo, but actually named it the Hawks as the Blackhawks. I also designed the helmet a while back for even a t-shirt design, ended up naming it the Caps as in the Capitals. So it just worked out that way, trying to get a mirror for the NHL and our league.
Even though it's not a highly competitive league, kids do gain advantages from participating in it.
I think the advantage is you get to play with people you wouldn't normally play with. You're playing with kids that are better than you, kids that are more skilled, kids that are older, kids that are younger. You can teach them the game, you can be a leader, there's a lot of opportunity.
Make memories of Summer League, because I remember when I played Summer League, I've been playing Summer League my whole life. You know, just memories last a lifetime.
So if you want more information on the league or the company, visit their website at www.hkyguys.com. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Michael Curley.
Thanks, guys. Now let's head back to school for this next story. There are changes in leadership in the dean's office.
History teacher Matthew Curran is now in charge of the freshman class of 2021. Recently, we caught up with Dean Curran to see how he's adjusting to the new role.
It's been a gradual push.
NHS faculty member Matthew Curran has been teaching since 1998, but this school year he has taken on a new role.
You know, you have more impact as a dean. Also, I mean, after teaching for 20 years, maybe a little bit of a change too in the same. I mean, you teach the same classes and I enjoyed teaching in the classroom, but I felt it was time for something a little different.
And the biggest difference, Curran says, is finding the balance between teaching his 2 classes and fulfilling his freshman dean responsibilities.
It's been interesting, dealing with the discipline, trying to balance between the 2. Only teaching 2 classes, you kind of lose track every now and then of what the scheduled day is. But at the same time, the 2 classes I have, the 2 U.S. classes, are fairly good classes. I've taught them for a while. So I've been able to handle that fairly well.
Heading into the second month of school, Curran is now starting to figure out how to handle his new responsibilities.
I'm still working through a routine, but usually it's come in, check to see if there's any messages on my phone, any slips or anything that came in at the end of the day yesterday. Anytime a student gets sent out, anytime a student cuts a class, doesn't report for detention, it's my job to follow up with that student and make sure they face the consequences.
But it's not just detentions and cuts that he's in charge of. A major part of the job is to advise the freshman class.
So as dean, it's class advisor and basically to help the class out with things like the semi and other class events in the future.
Dean Curran also says his new role as disciplinarian comes with some challenges.
I think as being a dean, being the new dean, trying to be consistent with the other deans, making sure I'm on the same page with the other deans in terms of discipline, in terms of not being too harsh, too easy.
And with so many students to oversee, Curran says it's getting to know them all is no easy task.
Names of the freshman class, it's 250 kids roughly. That's also one of the challenges there as well.
Best of luck to Dean Curran in his new role. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Walter Santiago.
Good luck to Dean Curran. The freshmen are lucky to have him.
Class of 2018's Gretchen Sandstrom traveled to Europe this past July as part of the Global Citizen Program. Senior staff reporter Cassie Cahill sat down with her after she returned. Here's the story.
While most students spent their summer by the pool in Norwood, senior Gretchen Sandstrom took a detour all the way across the world.
This summer, I went to Italy with a bunch of strangers, and we traveled around, ate food, heard from amazing speakers.
Sandstrom attended the Global Youth Summit about the future of food with some help from EF Tours as part of the 2017 Global Citizen Scholarships. A free trip to Italy is a coveted prize. 600 students applied, and Sandstrom, along with 20 other students, were the winners.
With our own individual projects, we all knew so much, and then so we got to learn a lot from each other. And then going to the summit, then we got to hear from Anthony Bourdain, Stephen Ritz, and Raj Patel and everything. So that was amazing. It was so overwhelming, but in a good way. And there was just so much that you could look at, you could learn, and so many people you could talk to who you've never met before.
Students were tasked with creating a project based around the summit's theme of food, and Sandstrom hopes to bring what she learned from these experiences to Norwood High.
My project is I'm starting, hopefully we'll start it this year, a garden at the high school, and all the food that we grow will be donated then to the food pantry here in Norwood.
While she hopes the project will have a long-lasting impact on Norwood, Italy will have a long-lasting impact on her.
We got the chance to swim in the Mediterranean. Who else gets to say that? And just traveling around Italy and eating the food and being immersed in their culture, that was just wow.
Sounds like it. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Cassie Cahill.
Thanks, Cassie. Gretchen wasn't the only NHS student that was busy over the summer.
Junior staff reporter Aidan Mulligan introduces us to a sophomore who spends his spare time building his own technology.
If you want to buy a new computer, you might go to the store to buy one, but sophomore Stephen Allinger takes a different approach. He builds them from scratch.
At a store, it's way more expensive and it's less powerful.
For Allinger, that means knowing how to get the right parts to customize his machine, and he says he can do it at half the price of a computer store.
Even places like Best Buy where they sell Windows PCs, they're super overpriced. I spent $1,100 on this, on all the parts, and it has the power of a $2,200 computer.
Allinger says building a computer might seem hard, but that once he finds his parts, it's just a matter of putting them together.
I had to make sure all the parts were compatible, because if you get parts that just don't go together, and then it just doesn't work. I watched some tutorials online, but it's honestly just kind of making sure everything goes in the right place.
And Allinger says that fitting all the parts inside the computer case with all the necessary wires can be a challenge.
The hardest part is cable management, because there's tons of different wires in there, as you'll see, and that's the hardest part, is making sure they go in the right place. I just did it on a weekend, honestly. It just took 3 hours, I think, to assemble it. And anyone can do it. It's people think that it's really hard and complicated. It's really not.
According to Allinger, there are other advantages to building a computer other than price.
You know what the parts are, so you can easily replace them. When you buy it at a store, a lot of those parts are factory made, and they're unique to that computer, so it's really hard to repair it if it breaks.
And a custom job also means a custom look.
You can make it look a lot cooler. Like this computer has like a gloss sides. Right here is an LED strip that I bought separately, but it goes with the case, and you can like, change colors and stuff.
In the end, Allinger says he likes the feeling he gets from building his own computer.
When you make something, that's a good feeling. And I would do it with anybody else because it's way more effective and cheaper, and you can get a wicked beefy computer for like cheap price.
So hit up Stephen Allinger if you're in the market for building your own computer. He can help you with the details. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Aiden Mulligan.
Thanks, Aiden. The 15th annual Norwood Day was last month, and it was packed with friends and fun things to do.
That's right, and the parent-teacher organization was trying to spread even more fun with their new board game, Norwodopoly.
Norwood Day is a celebration of all the great places to be and things to do in Norwood, and the NHS PTO wanted to memorialize that onto a board game.
When my parents were moving, I found an old game board in their basement and I held on to it and finally got my act together to bring it to the PTO this past winter.
Norwodopoly is just what the name suggests, a Norwood-themed Monopoly game that plays just like the classic, but with some familiar places.
We have Conrad's, Lewis's, Mug and Muffin. We have where else? Custom Art Framing, Norwood Bank, Dempsey Insurance, Dempsey's, ED Pest Control.
And these companies were more than willing to help the PTO make the game. Julie Vecchio of Custom Art Framing, who sells copies of the game at her store, was very eager to help the Norwood High students.
Well, anything to support Norwood and the students at Norwood High School, which we always support, and we have a show for the Arts Honor Society every year here as well at Custom Art Framing. But anything to support the town and the students and be memorialized on the board. I love it.
I mean, really, once word of mouth started, there were a lot of people who contacted us to
right, who wanted to be involved in it. So it was really great. It's a nice community, community event, a good way to have your name out there and touch a lot of people.
And what better to play a game that you recognize the businesses and you have a connection with. So it makes it more fun, I think.
Even though Norwood Day has come and passed, you can still get your own copy of Norwodopoly Tuesday at the Farmers Market or at select stores for $30 each. For NHS-TV, I'm Austin Reardon.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, that's all we have for this first Mustang Magazine of the year. Thanks for watching.
For more stories like these, be sure to check us out online at www.mustang.media or hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat.
See you next time.
Advanced Journalism class at Norwood High School.
Our goal is to cover the stories that matter.
I said that wrong.
History teacher Matthew Curran is now
now in charge.
I always read it backwards.
Thanks, Aiden. The 15th annual Norwood Day was fun. Okay.
What do you think I feel?
Oh yeah, you're gonna honestly.
I'm dying. Well, that's all we have for this First Name Mustang.
First Name.
What? I don't even know what I just said.
You like mixed together Mustang Magazine.